Welcome to Facts for Real videos. Look at these creatures. There is a dinosaur, a squirrel, dolphin, and a deer. You've worked it out already. Right now, I'm going to ask you what they all have in common. The dull response is that they have all existed on this earth at some point in history, blah blah blah. In that case, let me tell you about Abbot Thayer and his incredible theories on animal colors. Sure, what's even more astonishing about their shared characteristics is their coloration. He was a master at painting portraits. He also loved the hues of the natural world, though. One of his most well-known theories was how animals can hide from predators or prey, and it's still a valid theory today. The concept of countershading. Nature essentially paints creatures so that the areas with the most skylight are the darkest. And the opposite is true. They are dressed in the ideal attire for their surroundings. Let me inform you that this method is not just for animals with a keen sense of fashion. Ships utilize it as well to avoid being discovered. Even a patent was obtained for it by Thayer and his pal. Background mixing was another concept Thayer came up with. Think of it as a natural camouflage suit, which is when an animal or object is painted to match the colors of its environment. Thayer continued after that. Nevertheless, he also put up a notion of disruptive or dazzle camouflage. This is when a chaotic design is painted on an item to make it more difficult to judge either speed or distance. Trying to hit a pinata that is moving all over the place is similar to that. Consider why you can't seem to get your time just perfect. You would notice the bright sky and the lighter colored ocean surface if you were a shark swimming beneath the surface of the ocean. If you're a surface-dwelling prey animal, the vivid sky will merge beautifully with your lighter belly, whereas the deeper water will help your darker back blend in. Not just aquatic creatures can benefit from counter-shading. The bellies of land animals like deer and rabbits are lighter than their backs. This aids in their ability to blend in with the woodland floor's dappled light. Additionally, don't overlook the birds. The countershading on the feathers of many birds aids in their ability to blend into the sky. Various species are visible when viewed from above and below, respectively. They are able to tell others that they shouldn't be trifled with. Using vivid colors or markings to alert predators that an animal is dangerous or just unappealing, like a skunk, is known as aposematism. For instance, the wide white stripe on its back functions as a neon sign warning people not to approach too closely. Both you and those yellow-banded poison dart frogs will regret it. With their vivid and dramatic hues, they act as moving billboards for their own toxicity, warning people that even insects can't be fooled by them. You know those lovely tiny ladybugs? The brighter the power of brilliant colors to warn to potential enemies that they are packing a stick. Who thought that things could be more harmful than they already are? Could be so charming. White, yellow, red, and black are the most effective warning colors in the animal kingdom, just as how traffic signs warn drivers, since they are so lethal. These striking patterns are nature's way of warning you to be careful. Just keep that in mind if you ever come across a creature sporting some heavy jewelry. They are not attempting to be trendy. However, it is curious that certain animals have evolved to use vivid colors while others haven't. Something has perplexed scientists for a very long time. Fortunately, a theory developed by a group of academics at the University of Arizona has provided some intriguing new information on this vivid riddle. It turns out that an animal's brilliant coloring serves a purpose that is closely related to the behavior of its evolutionary relatives. Therefore, species that rely on their vivid colors to lure in mates are typically descended from ancestors who were active during the daytime. People that intimidate others by their hues. Predators typically had nighttime nocturnal predecessors. It appears that animals have evolved to make the best use of their coloration right now. You might be curious as to how vivid coloring initially came to be. Well, it appears that most organisms began off very arid and simple in the early stages of their evolution. However, vivid hues spread throughout numerous lineages over time, because they aided in animal reproduction and survival. Bright colors are not all created equal, however, as the researchers discovered that brightly colored reptiles and birds frequently use their coloring as a mating signal to attract mates. While colorful reptiles and snakes frequently display their hues as a deterrent to predators, get this. These snakes and amphibians are currently mostly nocturnal or active throughout the day. However, their forebears were nocturnal, active at night. Consequently, there is no direct relationship between warning colors and current activity patterns. Nature is certainly inventive in assisting animals to adapt and endure in the wild. But there are certain animals that might win the prize for the strangest animals. Have you ever stopped to consider what it might be like on any given day? If only we could penetrate the coverings covering our inside organs. Because the glass frog scenario has exactly resulted in that. You are strolling through Central and South America's lush rainforest, and it appears that you come upon a tiny little frog perched on a leaf from above. A typical frog, but if you turn it over, you can see all of its internal organs, including the heart and intestines. You may be thinking, why on earth? These frogs are transparent due to evolution. It turns out that their translucent, ultra-thin skin actually aids in their ability to blend in with their environment. When a bright source of light falls upon them, their silhouette becomes completely disorganized, making it challenging for predators to identify them. When lush, colorful greenery is all around you, a top coat is the ideal concealment. However, the outlines of the frog's body are blurred thanks to those transparent legs. Even more difficult for predators to identify their shape. Personally, I was unaware of penguins. One wildlife photographer found a website that left him and also came in yellow. On a little island in the southern Atlantic Ocean, stunned. He managed to get some incredible shots of a yellow king penguin that had the entire beach in a frenzy. On that beach, there were 120,000 birds, but this was the only one that was yellow. Scientists are baffled as to how this hue developed naturally there. They believe it to be a manifestation of luteism, which is essentially an animal's incapacity to reproduce. They believe that this particular king penguin produces modest amounts of the yellow pigment naturally, but they are unsure whether other king penguins do. It appears to be the only color. Talk about standing out from the crowd was something the animal could produce. If I'm not mistaken, there are certain colors, albeit you won't often see them in the animal kingdom. Some individuals claim that among people and the majority of animals, blue is one of, if not the most popular hue. However, find it difficult to wear this color. Some animals obtain their color from their diet. Sadly, there are no actual blue pigments in plants, unlike how shrimp make flamingos turn pink or how a goldfish diet may change the color of its body. Consequently, animals cannot turn blue by eating their food. They must think beyond the box. For example, some animals build structures that alter the wavelength of light so that it appears blue. One excellent illustration of this is the blue morpho butterfly. Its wing scales are designed with ridges that combine light in a way that only the color blue is reflected. The butterfly would lose its stunning blue hue if the scales were fashioned differently. That's all for now. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends, or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the Facts for Real videos.